In January of 1947, Los Angeles awoke to a story that would haunt the city forever. A young woman, beautiful and full of promise, vanished into the shadows of Hollywood's underworld, only to be discovered in a way so strange, so unsettling, that her name would become legend. They called her the Black Dahlia. But who was she? Why did her story grip the nation? And why, nearly 80 years later, does the mystery still refuse to fade? Stay with me, because this is more than a murder story. This is a story about fame, illusion, and secrets, and a city built on dreams, hiding nightmares just beneath the surface. Before she became the Black Dahlia, she was simply Elizabeth Short. Born in 1924, she grew up in Massachusetts. Friends remembered her as lively, adventurous, and strikingly beautiful. Like so many others in her generation, Elizabeth dreamed of Hollywood. She imagined herself in films, in glossy magazines, and walking red carpets under flashing cameras. But in Los Angeles, dreams could be fragile. Money was tight. Jobs were scarce. And in a city filled with aspiring actresses, beauty alone wasn't enough. She floated between friends' apartments, sometimes working as a waitress, sometimes depending on the kindness of strangers. She was searching for her break, but Hollywood can be merciless. And that's where the mystery begins. Because in January 1947, Elizabeth disappeared. It was a cold morning in Los Angeles. A mother walking with her child spotted something unusual in a vacant lot. At first, she thought it was a mannequin, posed unnaturally, discarded like a broken doll. But as she stepped closer, the truth became clear. It wasn't a mannequin. It was a young woman. Unrecognizable. And the scene was unlike anything the police had ever witnessed. Newspapers would call it one of the most shocking discoveries in Los Angeles history. But what made it worse, what made it unforgettable, was not just the strangeness of the scene, but the silence it left behind. No witnesses. No footprints. No clear answers. Detectives rushed to the scene, but the clues were confounding. Elizabeth's fingerprints were rushed to the FBI, and within hours, her identity was confirmed. She was only 22 years old. But here's the chilling part. Elizabeth Short had no family in Los Angeles, no close friends nearby, and no one who could explain her final days. Her last week alive remains a mystery. She was seen at bars, at a hotel lobby, maybe with men. But her trail simply vanished. And you have to ask yourself, how does a young woman disappear in a bustling city and end up in such a hauntingly staged scene? If the case itself wasn't bizarre enough, the press made it legendary. Los Angeles newspapers exploded with headlines. The public was fascinated, horrified, and obsessed all at once. Elizabeth was given the nickname the Black Dahlia, inspired by her rumored love of dark clothing and a film noir playing at the time, The Blue Dahlia. But the media didn't stop there. They painted her as a femme fatale, a mysterious seductress, even suggesting she lived a double life. Facts blurred into speculation. And the real Elizabeth Short? Her voice was drowned out by sensationalism. Do you think the media shaped her legacy more than the crime itself? Dozens of suspects were questioned. At one point, over 150 men were interviewed. But the list only grew stranger. One theory pointed to a surgeon, someone with medical skill. Another pointed to a Hollywood mogul with dangerous secrets. Even infamous gangster connections were rumored. But here's where it gets eerie. Not only were there multiple suspects, some of them even confessed. Letters were sent to the police, taunting investigators, signed by someone claiming to be the killer. Packages arrived with Elizabeth's belongings inside, cut and cleaned with precision. Was it the real killer or just someone craving attention? No one knows for sure. And here's a question for you. Why do you think someone would confess to a crime they didn't commit? Is it guilt? Or the lure of fame in a case that captivated the world? For all the attention, the investigation quickly spiraled out of control. Evidence was mishandled. Witnesses contradicted each other. And the sheer media circus made it nearly impossible for detectives to focus. Some believe the police knew more than they admitted. Others think corruption played a role. After all, Hollywood was a city of powerful men who couldn't afford their names tied to such a scandal. And so the trail went cold. Officially, the Black Dahlia's killer was never found. Over the decades, the Black Dahlia has become more than just a true crime case. Books, films, documentaries, all feeding into the legend. Elizabeth Short became less of a person and more of a symbol of lost innocence, of the dark side of Hollywood, of a mystery that refuses to rest. And yet, behind all the speculation, it's important to remember something. Elizabeth wasn't just the Black Dahlia. She was a daughter, a sister, a friend, a young woman chasing her dream. Her story endures not because of the tragedy, but because of the unanswered question that lingers to this day. Who silenced Elizabeth Short and why? Every city has secrets, but some secrets refuse to stay buried. And in Los Angeles, none is darker, stranger, or more enduring than the mystery of the Black Dahlia. So I'll leave you with this. Do you believe the truth was covered up? Or is the real answer still waiting to be uncovered? Hidden in plain sight, somewhere in the city of dreams? Do you think new evidence will ever come to light? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. If you have made it this far in the video, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And if you liked it, please don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this.